we get to a place, a bush. I started fighting with it. I fought seriously with it, and I killed it. I killed, I killed that goat. Killed, yes, I killed it.
Kill the woman.
I don't know that it was a human being. That was when I got myself. I discovered that who I was fighting with is a human being like me.
Within the first week of September 2016, 27-year-old Blessing Ogamma waved her husband and 4 children goodbye before heading out to sell plantains in Aboh town, located in Ndokwa East local government area of Delta State. It was supposed to be just another ordinary day of trading. Blessing, who lived with her family on Akala Street in Kwale, had made this trip countless times before, but unfortunately, this time would be terribly different. As the hours passed and the skies began to darken, Blessing's husband, Felix Ogamma, grew increasingly worried. His wife was always punctual and always careful to return home before nightfall, so when she failed to show up, Felix knew that something was terribly wrong. He immediately went to the Aboh police station to report his wife missing, hoping against hope that she was simply being delayed somewhere. The search for Blessing began, but what the community would discover just days later would shake them to their core. Her naked body was found lying in the bush along a street in Aboh town. The sight was heartbreaking and deeply disturbing, since there was clear signs that Blessing had been violated before her death. At least, that was what everyone assumed to have happened initially, but the truth would turn out to be more crazier than anyone would have ever imagined. The community was not just shocked, but also angered by the dastardly act. They wondered who would have done such a thing to a wife, and also a 27-year-old mother of 4 young children. The answer to their question would come from the most unexpected source, and when it did, nobody could have prepared themselves for what they were about to hear. A pastor in the community made a shocking revelation that sent waves through Aboh town. According to the pastor, an 18-year-old boy named Chukwudi Ijoma was responsible for Blessing's death, but the story behind the murder was unlike anything anyone had ever heard before. When the police received this tip and moved in to arrest Chukwudi on September 6, 2016, they had no idea they were about to hear one of the most bizarre confessions in the history of Delta State. Chukwudi Ijoma was not anyone expected. Sitting at the Delta State Police Command headquarters in Asaba, the teenager was said to have appeared broken and deeply troubled, with his hands locked between his shaking knees, his head bowed low, and tears streaming down his face. Chukwudi began to tell his story, and what a story it was. According to Chukwudi, he had been tormented by evil spirits for a long time before the tragic incident occurred. He claimed that whenever the devil appeared to him, he would see images of wild animals trying to attack him. These terrifying visions would force him to fight back against what he believed were demonic forces trying to harm him. The teenager explained that these experiences were not dreams or imagination, but real physical encounters that left him frightened and confused. Chukwudi revealed that he had tried to tell his parents about what he was experiencing. He desperately wanted them to understand that something was seriously wrong with him. But each time he mentioned the evil spirits and the strange things he was seeing, his parents dismissed his concerns. They told him it was just a dream and that his imagination was just playing tricks on him. They didn't take him seriously, and so the teenager suffered alone with his terrifying experiences. Before moving to Aboh town, Chukwudi had been a devoted Christian. He used to worship at Gospel Faith Mission Church in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, where he regularly received prayers from the pastor concerning his issues. During his time in Port Harcourt, Chukwudi seemed to have been spiritually covered and protected. But everything changed when he relocated to his village in Aboh, Delta State. In the village, Chukwudi said some people he called his village brothers and friends introduced him to traditional and fetish practices. He told the police that these were things that went completely against what he had been taught in church, and also expressed deep regret about abandoning his Christian faith. Now comes the most disturbing part of Chukwudi's confession. According to Chukwudi, he was standing somewhere in Aboh town when something suddenly entered him. He began seeing different things that he couldn't explain to anyone. An invisible force kept pushing him forward until he found himself on a bush path. It was there, in that isolated location, that the evil spirit he had been seeing appeared again. But this time, it transformed into a goat that seemed ready to attack him. Believing his life was in danger, Chukwudi began fighting with all his strength. He claimed he spent a long time in that bush, fighting what he believed was a demonic spirit in form of a goat and trying to kill him. Throughout the struggle, he kept hearing someone crying out the words, "Blood of Jesus," but he couldn't tell where the voice was coming from. Chukwudi said he fought with his bare hands, using no weapons, and fully convinced that he was battling a supernatural creature. But when the fight finally ended and reality came crashing back, Chukwudi looked down and saw something that would haunt him forever. Both he and Blessing Ogamma were naked, and that was when the teenager realized with absolute horror that he had not been fighting an evil spirit or wild animal. He had been fighting a human being and had killed Blessing Ogamma with his bare hands, believing the entire time that he was defending himself against a demonic goat. Chukwudi said he broke down crying when he realized what he had done, but the horror didn't end there. Investigators would later discover that after ending Blessing's life, Chukwudi had gone on to violate her body. He admitted to raping the woman, but only after she was already dead. The teenager had engaged in intercourse with Blessing's corpse before leaving her unclad body in the bush. Immediately after realizing that he had just killed a human being, a terrified and confused Chukwudi ran straight to his pastor to confess what he had done. He didn't try to hide anything. The teenager told his pastor everything, hoping perhaps that the man of God could help him understand what had just occurred. Chukwudi also called a pastor in Lagos whose phone number he had copied from a television screen. Although he didn't know this pastor personally, Chukwudi reached out to him, desperately seeking prayers for deliverance from the evil spirits that he believed were controlling him. The pastor began praying for him over the phone, but by then, it was already too late. The damage had been done, and Blessing Ogamma was gone forever. It was Chukwudi's own pastor, the one he ran to immediately after the murder, who informed the community about his shocking confession. Word spread quickly through Aboh town, and soon everyone knew that the killer had been identified. When the police arrived to arrest Chukwudi, he did not resist. He went with them willingly, still crying and pleading for mercy, claiming that the devil had pushed him to commit the terrible crime. At the police headquarters, the then Commissioner of Police, Zana Ibrahim Mohammed, confirmed that Chukwudi had confessed to violating and killing Blessing Ogamma, citing spiritual influence as his reason for the crime. The police boss also stated that investigations into the matter were still ongoing as they tried to determine whether Chukwudi was telling the truth about the evil spirits or whether he was simply trying to avoid taking responsibility for his actions.
I started talking with it, but I don't know what I was discussing with it. I don't know. Cannot say that this is what we are discussing of. We get to a place, a bush. I started fighting with it. I fought seriously with it, and I killed it. I killed that goat. Yes, I killed it. I don't know that it was a human being. That was when I got myself. I discovered that who I was fighting with is a human being like me. When I got myself, when I killed that thing for like 5 minutes, I got myself and I saw myself naked. And that person I killed was naked. I was shocked. And I ran straight to my pastor and I confessed everything that happened immediately to him. He was the one that told the community people and they called the police for me.
Chukwudi Joma was remanded in custody, pending legal proceedings and possible prosecution. However, since then, there has been no public update on the case. This case leaves us with more questions than answers. Was Chukwudi truly possessed by evil spirits? Or was this the tragic result of untreated mental health issues? Did his parents' failure to take his concerns seriously contribute to this tragedy? Could Blessing Ogamma's death have been prevented if Chukwudi had received proper help earlier? What do you think about this case? Was Chukwudi just making up things to escape punishment? Or was this a genuine case of mental health troubles that spiraled completely out of control? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories.